Hello children, good morning. Children, today in English we shall be taking unit 8. Okay, the world must know. Every one of your open textbook, English textbook, page number 36. So here in the book, the first page of the book, we can see a picture, man and woman. The man is sitting in the confused. By seeing his face, we can see he is little bit confused or he is little bit upset. And the lady is confessing him. Okay, maybe she is telling something. So this man is none other than the inventor of the television. So we all will be having the television in our home, right? Through which we television is a kind of an entertainment to us, right? Without TV we cannot even think about a day. You guys will be watching news, sports, or cartoon channels, or many other things. Many other programs will be airing on the television. So television has made our life very comfortable by entertaining us with various programs, right children? But did you ever thought that who have invented the television? So maybe some of you guys know that the inventor of the television was John Logie Baird. Okay, but actually there is another story behind to this. Because John Logie Baird did not invent the TV by himself first. There was some another man who have invented, and John Logie Baird have copied the concept of invention of the TV, and he prepared it by his own. So this guy who we are seeing in the textbook, so he is actually the inventor of the television. So let's start reading what happened with this inventor. See, he sat on the chair outside his house looking at the potato garden. Blue jays made a racket near the feeding table. Occasionally, they swooped down among the potato plants and gobbled up plump caterpillars. But Philo Farnsworth was just too tired to enjoy the beauty of the things around him. He was broken in spirit. So this guy name is Philo Farnsworth. Okay, what's his name? Philo Farnsworth. P-H-I-L-O. Philo Farnsworth. F-R-A-N-S-W-O-R-T-H. Farnsworth. Philo Farnsworth was the man who is sitting near his in the open yard, and is just looking at the potato plants, and there how the birds are coming down. Not doves, blue jays. Blue jays are a kind of a birds which appear in blue color. That means their feather colors are in blue. So blue jays were coming and just swooping down, means coming speedily. In the flying manner, they are swooping down and eating the caterpillars which were feeding on the potato plants. Okay children, so here instead of enjoying the beauty of the nature, this man was sitting silently in his yard. He was completely broken into spirits. That means something, the great thing which he was having, he lost. That's the reason he was very upset. Do you think I have acted like a fool, Pam? He asked his wife. So he is asking his wife. When his wife came there, he's asking, do you think that I have acted like a fool? What makes you think so? Pam asked. Now she is asking, what made you to think in that way? Thinking back in time, I don't know if I made the right decision. He took a sip of whiskey. So he was having a kind of a drink, whiskey. So by drinking, he was talking to his wife. He said, thinking back in the time, I don't know if I made the right decision or not. So no one can do anything about it now. Why don't you just forgive yourself? Pam said calmly. She took Philo's hand in hers and rubbed his fingers. Why don't you just forget? She was just making her husband calm down to come out of all the whatever have happened to him. She was just telling you, why don't you forget everything? We can't do anything at this time. So she have taken his hand in her own hands, and while rubbing the fingers, she was telling, why don't you please forget? Forget and forgive yourself. Then forget all that had happened so many years back is a vivid as though it happened yesterday. Philo bit his lip. So by biting his lip, that means biting his lip. In this tension, he was telling, how can I forget all that whatever had happened so many years back, that vivid though, maybe it is somewhat different, but it still disturbs me. He remembered the days when he had hoped his discovery would be a great milestone in human history. So he remembered, he went back to those times when he thought that discovery of something will be changing the human history. The inventor of the electronic television, that was what he wanted the world to know him as, but nothing had happened. All his efforts and sacrifices came to nothing. So what had happened here? When this Philo Farnsworth was trying to introduce the television to the world at that time, which none have seen before. How the television box would have looked? Have you seen any older television children? It will look like a boxes. Okay, for that older television was like black and white televisions where we have to operate with the buttons. Okay, so this guy was planning to do something like that, but nothing happened. All his effort and sacrifices came to nothing. So though he was doing a hard work, nothing was coming in a positive way. I don't think there is a justice in this world, he said glumly. So he said, I think there is no justice, because whatever good things we are doing, the world is making us or pushing us to the negative things only. But the world is not recognizing us as a positive person. He was just saying to himself glumly, sadly. There you go again. Pem shook her head sadly. Again, Pem said, again you started, again you went back to your old thoughts. She shook her head sadly. When he was a schoolboy of 14 years, okay, when he was about 14 years old, he was in the school, right? So while working in his father's farm, so he used to work in his father's farm also after coming back from the school. Philo got an idea. He was very excited. He knew his discovery was going to make life different on the planet. So when he was working on the farm, he suddenly got an idea of inventing something. So he was very excited to put this in front of the world. He was also excited that the world is going to see the new thing in their life. So what an amazing concept, said his teacher. It is going to revolutionize the world of science, especially physics. So when he discussed with the teacher, the teacher was very, very happy, and the teacher said, it's a very nice concept, very exciting, amazing concept. It will be revolutionized. Revolutionize means what? It will create a history, okay, in the reverse. It will create a history when any mankind did not even come across such a box where the programs will be played. So young Philo took the idea forward and created a magic box where images were shown in continuity. So this guy, when he got the appreciation from his teacher, he have taken this idea a little forward. So there he have created a magic box, a small magic box. In that magic box, the pictures were running continuity. After one picture, another picture was shown, then another picture was shown. So in this way, he have invented a magic box. He created a magic box. The inventor was far more advanced than what the invention was far more advanced than what was in existence. So the device was like a camera that converted an image into a stream of electrons, which a tube would convert back into the image. He was granted the patent for his invention in 1927. So this guy, after creating the magic box, so the people were very excited to know how the images will be shown as a picture, how it will work. So actually the process was, this invention that he had created one magic box, right? So that was any people did not see any time. So it was much in advance. That means more. If we are living in the 4G world or 6G world, but maybe in the future we may be getting 12G or 14G. We don't know. So right moment, if we are getting 12G also, then we will call it as an advanced state. Okay, children, because present things and future thing, if it is that situation. So the device which looked like a camera, that converted, that have changed the image to a stream of electrons. That means all the pictures were just showing, all the people were moving here and there. Which tube would convert back into the image. So the machinery was made that the image into a, that it will be changing the image into a stream of electrons with a tube, which a tube would convert back into the image. Now he was granted the patent of his invention in 1927. See, patent, he got patent means getting the license, legal license. Okay, 1927. Remember children this one. So he got the license. This Philo Farnsworth got the license. Okay, that means license means what? Legally license if you are getting, that means that invention will not be carried back again with some another inventors or any other scientist, or any other discoveries will not take place after we are getting so and so license. Okay, especially all guys will be, whoever are making their own things, they will be having license definitely. If they are not using the license, or if they are not having that certificate, they will not be granted to work on that so and so project. So this guy Philo Farnsworth got his license, that is patent. Okay, legal license is known as patent. Patent in 1927. It is the power of invisible electron, Philo beam. The world will come to your living rooms. Now he was telling, by seeing this all, he was very much excited. He was telling to the people, all the whatever is going on around the world, you can just sit and watch it in this magic box. He was telling. People were never really understood what he meant, but they did not want to disagree. So people, first of all, they did not understood how the world will be. We will be seeing the world inside our home. How can we sit and watch everything? So they were not not understanding, but they did not disagree also. They were just saying okay. So you know what the future held. Things were being discovered, and people were glad that it was happening in their times. So at that time, everywhere the televisions were started, the mass production started. Okay, all the companies were starting the mass production of the televisions, and the people were very much excited that the magic box will be coming to our home, and they were also glad about themselves that in their time they are able to see that which their parents did not see. Word went around of the magic box with moving images. The president of RCA, a company that produces radios. So his name was David Sarnoff. Also heard about the marvelous invention. So another guy have entered here. His name is David Sarnoff. So who was he? He was the CEO of a radio company. Okay, where radios would have produced. So his name was David Sarnoff. Heard. So this word of magic box went worldwide. It has spread. So this guy David Sarnoff heard about the magic box. So he was also a CEO in his the president, CEO also stands for president only, or else president. See, some companies directly appoint the president, some will hold it on the CEO post. Okay, children. So he was the president of the radio company. He also heard about it. Being a very shrewd businessman, he was very much. That means whatever he wanted to have, he will be having at any cost. So he, being a shrewd businessman, Sarnoff wanted to know more about the new thing. At that time, he was in discussion with a Russian inventor, Vladimir Zworykin. Okay, he was in the talks of the there was a Russian inventor whose name was Vladimir Zworykin, who was also working on a magic box. One day, he had an idea. So this guy, the Russian inventor, was also working on the magic box. Someday he was also having the same idea which Philo Farnsworth got. So he was working on a magic box, but already the magic box had come into the existence by Philo Farnsworth, right? So this guy, the David Sarnoff, went to talk to Russian inventor about this. Why don't you just go and see what this Philo guy has? Is it worth all the talk? Find out more about it, Sarnoff told Zworykin. So this guy, the radio president, went to the Russian inventor and told him that why don't you go and see by yourself what this Philo Farnsworth have? Is he really inventing something new, or the talks are just false talks or rumors? What the other world is talking about? Sorry, full world is talking about. So Zworykin was also curious to see for himself what he had heard so much about. So here the Russian inventor Zworykin was also very much excited to come to know what actually production was going on and what kind of invention it is. So nowadays children, in the YouTube or in the Google we can find whatever we want. But in those days there were no Google or no YouTube. They have to at least come to know the thing by the newspaper or from the news channel. Okay, but see, from far places any people will come, they will not come to us and they will give the news, right? So they used to send the letters. So that is the concept of telegram. Now he arrived in California and was welcomed by Farnsworth, who did not know the real purpose of the visit. When Zworykin saw the invention and the way it worked, he was awestruck. So here this guy have arrived, Zworykin arrived to California. There Philo Farnsworth went to greet him or welcome him by seeing that Philo Farnsworth doesn't know. He knows that he is a scientist, he is an inventor, but he doesn't know why he has come to California. Just he received him and he have taken him there and he showed how the magic box creation and the production was going on. By seeing that all the things, he was awestruck, he was moved with the happiness. That is a beautiful tube. I wish I had invented it, he told Farnsworth. So after seeing that, he said, it's a beautiful tube. I wish I would have. Whatever I got an idea, I wish I would have done that. Farnsworth took it as compliment and was truly pleased. He thought that he was going places. He felt in his heart that a great many things waited for him. He wanted to jump and dance around, for the joy in his heart was too much to be contained. But he was too young and naive to realize that all Zworykin wanted was to steal his idea for RCA. RCA means what? The radio companies. The RCA, the radio companies who produces the radios. So here, why this Zworykin has come? He has just come to steal the idea from this guy, and he thought maybe he is very young, because he was very much young, right? At 14 years only he got the idea of that one. He started doing, maybe he was around 15 to 16 years old when the television came, but this Zworykin thought he is too young. 16 years is not much elder age, right children? So he thought that this boy is very young and he will be not even realizing that I have come here to steal his idea. Then Sarnoff, after he heard the report from Zworykin, visited Farnsworth and made an offer of $100,000 to buy the ownership of the invention. Now Sarnoff, when Sarnoff heard from the Zworykin that how the production was going on and how the machinery have done its work to create a magic box, he have told everything to the David Sarnoff through the letters. When this guy came to know about this, he had offered to Philo Farnsworth $100,000 for the patent. That means he wanted to take that legal license which he got in 1927. He wanted to take that patent, that license. That means if we are giving the license once, we are not going to be any part of that so and so product. So he wanted to take that one. For that he had offered $100,000. So are you making fun of me? Farnsworth asked. Farnsworth asked, so do you think that I am looking like a joker? Why are you being very funny to me? Please do not misunderstand me, Sarnoff said. So when Sarnoff also came and met Farnsworth, he said, see, don't misunderstand me. Should there be a misunderstanding me? You offer me a lump sum amount for my invention and you are going to mass produce the same. I would rather have royalties for the sale instead of a flat one-time amount. So here Farnsworth was not at all agreeing to give his license because he was the inventor, right? He shouldn't have done that. Anyone will not do. So he is telling straight away to Farnsworth that, not Farnsworth, David Sarnoff, he is telling, see, how I am looking to you? Am I looking like a fool to you? How could you steal my invention? How could you expect that I will be giving my license to you? And once I give the license to you, you are going to mass produce this. That means you will be creating number of televisions and you will be selling that too on your name, on your company name. Then what is the use of my invention? Where is my idea gone? He did not agree. He said, see, instead of this, I need a royal standard. Royal standard means what? Being an inventor, he will be getting the amount every month or every year, right children? But once he go and offer directly, he will be getting direct amount only one time and it will be settled. He should never make any kind of discussion once the product is sold. So he said, his words were very clear. He said that I am not going to give you. For one time amount, I am not going to give you. Instead, I would be having the royalties for sale. Then we don't pay royalties, we collect them. Sarnoff scratched his chin. Now, Sarnoff, while scratching his chin, he was telling, see, we don't pay any royalties. We directly pay the amount. We collect them. We will not pay the royalties. We will collect them. We will snatch them from. So he did not like one bit of what Farnsworth wanted. So now Sarnoff did not like anything what Farnsworth wanted to. That means how his idea was to bring the TV to all the people in all the houses of the people. This idea was not getting inside of David Sarnoff. He knew he was a smart businessman who had won for RCA the monopoly, the radio industry. He had thought the magic box, that is television, would also be one such business. He was not happy to realize that he had been wrong. He went away disappointed and decided to play a different game. So there, though Philo Farnsworth was telling how he wanted to bring the magic box into the world and how he wanted to entertain the people, this idea was not getting inside the David Sarnoff head. He was just telling, see, we are not going to do whatever you say. We have our own plans. So saying this, he went away from there to play some different games. Different games means he wanted to have some another idea to steal this product. In the meantime, Farnsworth went to Philco, a radio company. So he visited a radio company, Philo Farnsworth, to help produce the television. They agreed to his terms provided that Farnsworth moved his lab to Philadelphia, but it never happened. Farnsworth formed his own company and demonstrated live TV in Philadelphia in 1934. So he got in 1937. Now 1934, he went to first he went to a radio company to help the production of the mass, and he thought that I will be moving to so and so place. There I will be setting up my office. He thought, but it did not happen. So what he thought, whichever company he was going and visiting and offering this one, they were not agreeing to his terms and conditions. So this guy have started his own company in 1934. Sarnoff was not too pleased to hear of this. There was a dispute over the patent of the television that lasted for quite some time. So here, after listening about this, Philo Farnsworth have established his own company. David Sarnoff did not feel good. He was becoming very much impatient. He was telling to himself, how could we do this one? So the dispute, that means the fight, the dispute of the making the television and having the patent, that means the license of that television on so and so name, all the people, whoever were getting this idea to create the television box, all were in the dispute. That means they were quarreling with each other. So Sarnoff was, time was precious and Farnsworth made a smart move. Time was going on. Then here, Philo Farnsworth made a smart move. He signed a deal with an English company that helped him put the first TV station on air in 1936. Now in 1936, in 1931 he have established his own company. In 1936 he have got the rights to air the television, to air the shows on the television. He have signed the deal with the English company. There he got this chance. But by this time Farnsworth was bankrupt and had taken to drinking. So by this time when he was having his own establishment, he was bankrupted. That means whatever amount was there, it was going and collected into the income tax department, because he was getting lots of amount on the for this magic box, because he was earning much money. So black money was also, he was getting black money also. So here this guy got bankrupted. That means any bank was not at all giving him any amount for his daily usage or whatever. So he was also charged for the drinking. Okay, because normally he was a drinker. He used to have wine and whiskey all the time. So he was charged for the drinking as well. Sarnoff did not sit idle. Here David Sarnoff was not at all sitting idle. He was just making his mindset. He decided to bring out RCA television in 1939. So here when 1939, David Sarnoff, he thought of creating his own television and bring it from the name of RCA, that is the company name of radios. So, and he thought of bringing to the world this kind of TV, RCA, without giving any credit to Farnsworth for his effort to the world, a new product. So he thought, David Sarnoff was thinking, I am not going to give any credit to the Philo Farnsworth. Though he was the actual inventor, but he did not give any credit to him. He started his own invention here. In the ongoing patency dispute, Sarnoff lost to Farnsworth. Farnsworth was truly happy that he had won the case. So he had lodged the case in the court. There, Farnsworth and David Sarnoff were seeing each other in the court. But here, David Sarnoff lost his case and Philo Farnsworth have won. He made plans to get the television set in production, but life dealt a terrible blow in form of World War II. The production was stalled. So when he thought, this guy, Farnsworth thought, finally I have won the case and now I am going to bring the mass production again into the force. But time played its own game and World War II started at that time. So the production of the television was stalled. Stalled means it was halted, it was stopped. Next, when the war ended in 1945, that means the Second World War have ended in the 1945. Farnsworth was left with just 2 more years as the owner of the TV patent. So this license will be containing so and so age. So at this time, till the World War II was coming to an end, at that time Philo Farnsworth was having only 2 years to own that license. Eventually Sarnoff and RCA pushed him aside and went into TV production. Again, after losing the case also, here Sarnoff again came into the scene and he and the company, RCA company, have pushed. That means they made a side of Philo Farnsworth and they started the TV production. Farnsworth's name was never even mentioned. The inventor was terribly disappointed. So here they have invented the TVs. They were even sending to the other people for some amount. They were just gifting to the leaders or prominent people for freely. At that time, anywhere in news or in the newspaper, not even on the TV sets, was written the name of the Philo Farnsworth. He was very much disappointed, though it is my idea, but this guy have stolen it. Later, Farnsworth and his family moved to a farm in Uthé. By then, he was in clutches of depression. So he moved along his family to Uthé country and there he was completely depressed. let me see, getting a better idea, bringing it to the existence, then suddenly the thing is vanishing from our eyes. It is hard to digest, right children? So this was depressing, this Farnsworth. All my struggles was for nothing. I just lived to see my dreams taken away. Farnsworth sighed wretched life. He was thinking, he was telling that all whatever struggles I have done in my life, it just washed away. Nothing is in real. Everything, it was in my dreams. All my dreams were just taken away for the another people. Please don't say that. Pem tried to comfort him. Then here again coming back to the scene where these guys were sitting here. So again what she said, please don't think all that. Please cool down. Philo Farnsworth wife was telling. The people who really know you that you have been cheated, they still tell their kids about you. Phil darling, no one can take away what you have given the world. People might not recognize you, but the truth cannot be hidden for long. So here Pem was telling, please, Phil darling, Phil means Philo's short form. She was telling, please don't worry Phil darling. One day or the other day, the people will tell their kids or teach their kids that the actual inventor of the television was Philo Farnsworth, not J.L. Bate or not any David Sarnoff. Okay, who was the first inventor? Philo Farnsworth. She was telling that whatever you have given to the world will come compulsory, it will recognize you, the world will come to know. No one wants the truth, Pam. What use is it? What use it? So he scratched his beard. By scratching his beard, no one will come to know, no one will recognize me. And what is the use if they are recognizing also as I became old? So on the 9th of July 20, 1969, okay? July 20, 1960. You can imagine children from 27 to 60. So many years, right? So here, and in that 1969, the world witnessed a huge leap in the history of mankind. Man landed on the moon and the world saw it through the magic box. So here, on July 20th, 1969, so there was a great thing happened in the world. That means the first man have landed on the moon. So that scene was seen by the other people from the television. Through the television only they were seeing that man have landed on the moon. So see now, Pem nudged her husband. Now Pem is telling, now you see on the television, look at what you gave the world. If there is justice in this world, the truth behind the invention of this box will also come out. So you see it is you. I believe that it is you who have created this television. But one day, definitely, if world is true, then definitely they are going to come to know who have invented the television. Will I live to see that? Even so, what is the use? Now here again this Philo Farnsworth was telling, do you think till the world will come to know about my invention, do you think that I will be still alive? Then if I am alive also, then what is the use? Then she is telling, it doesn't matter whether we are there or not, but the truth will not be hidden anymore, and the people who cheated you will hang their heads in shame. So one or the other day, whether we are alive or we are no more in this world, but one day all the people of the world will come to know the actual inventor of the television, and whoever have cheated you, they will hang their heads in shame. That means apologizing. That hanging the head means telling the apologies or just pretending, no, just showing their sadness from on their face. Tears rolled down Farnsworth's face. Yes, there was a hope somewhere in the distant future. So here, the tears were coming out from the Philo Farnsworth's eyes. He was telling to himself, yes, someday world will come to know that it was me who have invented the television. Right, children? Very, very touching lesson. What all struggles this Philo Farnsworth have faced to bring the television into the existence. But the people have cheated him and they have taken the patent and they have produced their own televisions. Now, today's world we call television's inventor as John Logie Baird, but actually John, see I am writing the name here, John, L-O-G-I-E, Logie Baird. John Logie Baird he is the inventor of the television, we call, but we have to always remember, you and me, that it was Philo Farnsworth who have actually had an idea of this. So, okay children, once again you go through the lesson and understand. We'll be meeting in the next class where we'll be writing the notes of this lesson. Bye-bye.